First word that comes to my head is distant. I mean, I can walk past a student of color, black student, and they won't even nod, hi, or wave.
The preconceived notions we have about people, that needs to be erased. I think a lot of times I'm guilty of it. I'll see somebody and just from their behavior or something they did that kind of turned me off, I'm like, I don't really like her. I don't want to get to know her. And then once I got to know that person, I'm like, man, I'm like kind of dumb. Like she was real cool, and like all that stuff I had in my head before, was different from who they really were.
I think that as small as we are, even though we are a tight-knit group because, there aren't that many of us here on campus, I feel like at the same time some of the drama that different groups have between each other and some of the problems that everyone has with each other don't need to exist just because I feel like there aren't that many of us for us to be having those problems.
Definitely family, being more family oriented, because I think we come from a culture that is very family oriented, and I think we need to keep that here, definitely, because it's starting to branch off a little bit, and we need to bring it back just a little bit.
Maybe reaching out, maybe just hatred toward each other. I mean, just unnecessary. Like, I guess because I'm new here, but like I find myself walking on campus, and I don't know if it's because I'm a new face or why, but people like stare or like give me like nasty looks, and always black people, and I'm like, okay,
I don't know. It's very distant, and I know it's been said over and over again. I think a lot of times, and I don't want to call out organizations, I'm not going to even do it, but I think there's some organizations that they're the reason why it's so distant. I think some people feel like it's an obligation that you have to speak to me. I'm not going to say hi to you. Or if I say hi to you, it's half the time. And then when I'm with my clique of friends, I'm not going to speak. So I think a lot of that is just the reason why we're so distant and so separated. And I think women have a tendency to just not like another female for another reason that's just random, for talking to their guy friend or whatever. And I just think that people need to just put all the personal, private stuff aside and just get to know people for just who they are.
We've always been segregated and stratified. There's this hierarchy that exists within the black community. Freshmen come into it, they're very standoffish sometimes. I mean, it's a natural tendency to gravitate towards what you're familiar with. So you often see what people do is people from the same city will hang out together, different things like that. You kind of find ways of grouping yourself with certain people, but I also feel like the community here has kind of turned into a breeding ground for Greek prospects in a way. It seems like the ultimate goal within the black community is to get within that crowd.
We don't even have an organization on campus like this that can bring everybody together and eliminate cliques and just erase all this judgment that people build in their heads about other people before they even know anybody.
Supporting each other. We need to go out to others' events, maybe offer people help, coming to different events.
You can go into a white person's house party and kick it. Like, black people give you an ugly look, like, what you doing here? Like, I feel we're the only race who have like some mentality, like we're like gonna shank each other like we're in prison or something. Like, we are in college, our parents pay for this. Like,
the credentials you have all the time is mainly about who you know, and we don't have a sense of community like that where we can go and talk to people, get out of college and get a job because we know somebody or things like that. And I don't know, I just think it's important.
As much as I actually love the black community here at Ohio University, I feel like we're very separated. Like, when you talk to alumni, you hear the different things they used to do. They just sounded like they really enjoyed being around each other. Like, they would hang out on the catwalk, or they would meet up in the dorm and watch TV at night for an hour, or hang out in front of Baker. And then some people may feel like it's kind of stupid to do those things, but I think when you see stuff like that, it's like it's welcoming, and you want to do it too. And it's not restricted. It's not limited to anybody. Anybody could go.
Being a senior, I think that there's definitely a dynamic that has shifted since my freshman year. The black community seemed a lot more close. My freshman year, we had programs such as the community, which was a little group that met every Friday, and alternate activities. Like 1 week we would discuss some political issues or things that were going on at OU, and the next weekend we would have like a game night or do something social. And the upperclassmen seemed to be a lot more connected to the younger students. Links was a lot more family oriented. Everyone was a lot closer with their peer mentors and other students in the program. And it was just a different dynamic. Everyone was a lot closer, a lot more involved, a lot more supportive of people's programs and other organizations and different things that they would do on campus.
I honestly feel like not only within the minority population, but within the Ohio University population, when you get involved in the student organizations, it's more so what can this do for me? Not really what can I do for it or the community.